Welcome back to another episode, and this time we're going to be talking about combating burnout. Woo, that's a tough one. Now, first, I do want to show you what I just got. I got this Superman emblem, and it's going to hang right next to Baby Yoda, I think. I'm not sure yet, I think. And it kind of glows. It has this little light thing. So, again, I got this from Sideshow. They're targeting me now on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know how to feel about that, but they know what I like. And anyway, that's going to go up on the back. Should be pretty cool. But let's talk about combating this process that we have that is a burnout process. And I've taken the liberty to outline the things that I would love for you to put into perspective so you can beat this. And I abbreviated it. I created an acronym, of course, and it's APPH. It starts with really acceptance. That's number one. We have to accept that we're all dealt a different set of cards for our life. Whether it's easy right now, whether it's hard, whether it's in the middle, that's our life. And that's where we have to take ownership and say, hey, it is what it is. Now let's try to figure out how to make it better. A lot of the times we get stuck on, oh, I hate my life. I can't believe it's this. I can't believe it's that. Oh, wow. Why did they get it better than I do? Why do I always have to get all the bad stuff? And look, we've been through this before on some of my previous videos. It's all about the reticular activating system. It's all about your mindset. It's all about everything that you continually put into perspective. So look, acceptance that your life is what it is, and it's up to you to change it, right? It's up to you to make that difference. It's up to you to be the one that says, I got this. Now let's move forward. That's where it starts. Next one is passion. Woo! This is a good one. And I was interviewing Jim Quick. Check out my podcast, Brilliant Thoughts. I was interviewing Jim Quick, and he mentioned that the reason most people have burnout, most people hate what they do, most people are sad and into this depressive state is because they're doing things that they're not passionate about. Right? And he's right on. The key is to make sure that your day, that your week, that your year is full of those things that you want to do, those things that you're passionate about. The thing is, most of us live a life where we're doing the things that we feel like we have to do, like it's work, right? And even when it's work, we're not even focusing on the things that make us happy at work. And some of us don't have the guts to actually do the things that we love, right? We fear that if we do it, we're going to fail. And that's where I want you to pause and say, are you focusing all of this energy, all of this life that you have into something that's draining you? You've got to take time to focus on the passion. Passion is what's going to continue to live life to the fullest. Right? And so acceptance that life is life. You've been dealt the cards that you've been dealt with. You got to move on. Next is passion. You have to focus on the things that you love to do. I'm not saying that don't do the things that you need to do that you don't love. Of course, we need to have this whole process, right? Which is my fourth one, which you'll see. But focus your energy, your priorities on this passion of yours. Here's the thing about passion. When you focus on the things you love, the things you love will bring you joy. And that's the key. Next one is priorities. And this is where you need to focus on the things that are part of your life that are necessary, the things that you need to be paying attention to. And you can say, look, well, I have a lot of priorities, and some of these things I need to do, like eat, right? I need to breathe. Those, of course, you need to do those things. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the priorities in your life that make it more of a fulfilled life. And this is where I'm talking about the self. When I'm talking about the self, I'm talking about the mind, the spirit, the body, right? The self. And then I'm talking about family, right? Whether it's your spouse, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, friends, kids, siblings, parents, whatever that looks like, right? And then the other priorities are business. What part of business do you want to grow? Is it a startup? Are you writing a book? What is it about your business that you're trying to grow? Those are priorities. If we don't focus on our priorities, what happens is those things that we don't focus on start going away, right? If you don't use it, you lose it. Have you ever heard that? That's true. If you don't use it, you lose it. Think about it. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. If you don't put a lot of energy into it, it's going to disappear. And so this is where I want you to identify, what are your priorities? And I've got this great sheet that I use in the mornings to help me visualize on, okay, what am I not paying attention to here that are my priorities? And I'm going to share it with you because it's one that's helped me identify my priorities better. And this is how I visualize. I don't always pop this one up and go through it. Sometimes I do it just with my eyes closed in my head. But these are the 3 steps to visualization, right? I call it the self, family, and business. And you can see here I give instructions at the top. I'll put the link to this one in the description. So click on the little drop-down menu. You'll see that. And look, while you're at it, subscribe. There's a little button there that says subscribe, and I'll keep on bringing you great stuff. You can always guarantee that I'm always bringing you new and good stuff. All right, so here we go. 1, self. What does that look like, right? On the self, spiritual, physical, mental, emotional. What stands out to you? What are your thoughts? If you close your eyes or if you're thinking, what's going to stand out? For me, the one that I'm working on right now is mental. I'm like, you know what? I haven't been reading as much, and I love to ingest knowledge so that I can use that knowledge, because applied knowledge, right, those actions help me get to where I want to get to. All right, where do I want to be 6 months from now? Well, I want to continue to read 2 to 3 books a month, right? Let's just do 2. So 2 times 6, that's 12. By the end of 6 months, I want to have read 12 books. And what can I work on today to help me achieve it? Well, stay on schedule. Make sure that the schedule that I set myself to read, I do it. So set alarms. If I haven't been showing up to read, set alarms. Let my wife know, hey, I haven't been reading. Let my kids know, hey, you're going to read with me today, right? Keeping me accountable. Next, thoughts, family. Here we go. Family, spouse, significant other, just like I told you. Here now, I close my eyes and I'm thinking, all right, the one that's going to come up to me, children, right there. And the thought is this: look, my kids, they just started summer school, and they haven't been as good with their calendar, right? With their daily process of what they're going to do to include their priorities, right? So they have a balance. Of course, they're going to play and have fun, but what about the rest of the things, like continued learning and certain types of physical activity that they need to do and other things? So for me, look, where do I want to be 6 months from now? Well, they'll be at school by then, but hopefully through the summer, we would have achieved what we wanted to, right? Next, what can you work on today to help you achieve this? Sit down with them, go over their schedule, see what their priorities are, what we can put into their daily and weekly lives. And number 3, business thought. For me, it's going to be, look, if I go through professional, side hustle, startup, I'm thinking, okay, the thing that comes to mind for me is I need to hire a social media manager, somebody that's there for me, and that's going to go on my professional business for a brilliant tribe for my personal brand. Where do I want to be 6 months from now? Well, I already want to have this person hired, number 1, right? And B, what can I work on today to help achieve this? So we already have a write-up, task, duties. I'm going to review that and make sure that it gets done. So this puts it all in perspective for me. And as I'm putting this into perspective, what happens is I start identifying those things that are most important, right? The thing about combating burnout is that we're focusing on things that may make us feel like we're busy, but they're not really a priority to moving our lives forward. And we get burned out not only by not focusing on our passion, but not focusing on things that are continually pushing us to where we want to go, right? To our goals, to where we see our vision of our family and ourselves going. And that can bring us down. So this is important, the identification of priorities. We've got APPH, right? The acceptance that you're living the life that you've got. So you know what? It's up to you. Next, focus on your passion, P. Next, focus on those priorities that help you get to that next level and puts everything into perspective for you. And lastly, it's harmony, right? Harmony, a lot of the times you hear people say, well, it's a balance, life's a balance. And I understand what they're saying. I'm not saying you're wrong when you're saying you've got to have a more balanced life. I'm saying, let's use a better word. And that word is harmony, because not everything in your life is getting the exact same attention to have it balanced, right? Sometimes you're putting more in this bucket than you are in this, but it's all working together. It's harmonious. And I think that's how we have to look at our lives, right? Accepting that our life at every stage is going to be a little different, and that it's our duty to make it harmonious, right? To give time to our family, to give time to our startup, to our business, to give time to our mind, to our bodies, right? Have everything work in harmony, and saying some days you're going to miss some of this stuff, right? There are going to be days where you're working the whole day, and there are going to be days when you're vacationing the whole day, right? The point is that in this process, it's harmonious, and that you're giving each part of your passion and priorities the right time allotted to grow. That's the key. And the second part to harmony is that you have to put these things into action, right? Those priorities, that passion, if you don't apply time to it, they don't grow. And then you're going to be in that same spot when you're just combating this sadness, and it's like this burnout. It's like, I hate this again, right? So the whole point around it is use your schedule to outline, okay, now that I've got my passion, now that I understand what my priorities are, put them into your schedule so that you get them done, whether it's 10 minutes at a time, 20 minutes at a time, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever it takes. But when you identify it, you don't burn out, because that keeps you going. It keeps you moving forward. Believe it or not, once you start this momentum, you're like, whoa, this is kind of cool. And all of a sudden, you're doing the opposite of burning out. You have this energy that's naturally propelling you forward to grow. That's the key. But it all has to be centered around your passion and your priorities. And it's harmony, right? But it's up to you to apply it to the right times so that it works. So remember, it's APPH. It's up to you. And don't forget to subscribe. I always forget. I almost left it to the end. I guess I did leave it to the end. And then I've got this great Superman thing. Can't wait to plug it in. Hopefully you see it in the back there, and share this if you think somebody else could benefit from this. Look, I didn't go too deep into it. I just wanted to touch on the things that are important to fight this battle that we consistently have with burning out, right? So hopefully it's instructive. You loved it. If you didn't, that's okay. Let me know what you didn't like. If you did, share your comments below. Thanks again. Have an awesome day.